Welcome and hello, hello and welcome and hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me on a very special edition of Un Poco Mas. Guys, you know we love hump day. Many of you tiny wing all-stars around humping legs, humping your desk, whatever you're doing over there, we don't want to know, guys. But anyway, guys, it's Un Poco Mas. Thanks for joining me on a Wednesday. I don't really know why I am bringing you this program. Just pretty much wanting to pump the SoFi stock. Let me check if my microphone is on. I did a 10x video yesterday where I did the first 2 minutes on mute, like a complete moron that I am. Anyway, guys, it is Un Poco Mas. They call me Danny Deals. They call me Hurricane Lopez. They've been known to call me Little Danny Cornbread DeCarlo. And you might ask, why do they call you cornbread? Well, because I'm moist, I am doughy, and I crumble under pressure. They call me the Little Tugboat because I'm short in stature, rarely far from my home port, and pull more than my own weight. They call me DJ Patchy Drizzle because my parties are absolutely no fun. I'm a big wet blanket, but I do get everybody home at a reasonable hour. They call me MC Al Dente for obvious reasons, because I'm firm to the tooth. If you see me in public, go ahead, bite me. Check it out. It's a total trip. Anyway, guys, I have no idea what I'm talking about. The great Carl Seamark has joined us. Welcome indeed. You tiny wing hero, Carl. No, Carl's, the rumors are not true. Carl is wholly adequate. The man builds a great mattress. And I don't know why I talk about tiny wings so much on this show. Definitely some severe psychological issues, paging Dr. Floyd. But guys, wanted to talk SoFi just because I believe the stock still is in a great position to move up to all-time highs. I know I'm delusional. I know, Jimmy Chitwood from Trending Stocks goes through the data every single day, and there are, basically outflows, and institutional money from SoFi since the ER. I believe it's transient. I believe the core, shareholders are holding up quite well. I think I take it, I basically chalk it up to short-term profit taking. I don't think any long-term investor really believes that this stock is greatly overvalued at $27. It's some ridiculous valuation. It's going to pull way, way back. People are talking 18. People are talking 20. 20's nuts. Like, it's nonsense. The stock is undervalued. The growth is so durable, so perfect. It's incredible. I don't care if you look at the annual growth. It's not just that they're growing fast. It's that they don't throw you any crazy Ivans. They don't throw you any huge curveballs. They don't fuck up big time. They don't fuck up, as Larry David would say. They don't drop the ball. They don't have big PR crises. And when they do have something small, they manage it well. We got a couple of new announcements today that might be fruitful, if you will, for SoFi. Now look at the quarterly revenue. Have you ever seen anything like this in your life from a public company? This level of consistency with this level of growth. I mean, there's like 1 or 2 quarters where they're down sequentially in the entire bunch. And then on a trailing basis, this tells the story, because this sort of averages out any, anomalies in the quarters. I have looked at public companies my entire adult life, and believe me, there's a lot of gray hair, not only that you can see, but that you can't see. You ever seen a big hairy back gorilla, a chunky stock monkey? That's me. Chunky is charged, to quote Rob Dyrdek. But anyway, I was a huge fan of Big Black. I love that guy. Rest in peace, my man. He passed away. Anyway, dude, big men die young. That's the unfortunate reality. That's why I've been trying to, get my happy ass in shape, but I'm having limited success because I have no willpower, motivation, common sense. I eat way too much tacos, things of that nature. But anyway, guys, it's the great Tortuga de Rio. Yeah, I think SoFi will be. I know this sounds a little bit crazy because time is of the essence, but I think SoFi is going to be at all-time highs by the end of this year. You notice they weren't shorting it into the earnings report. They didn't really hit it too hard right after earnings. They kind of weaseled it down, over time, just tiny wing, little price fixing hoopla, little, Mexican standoff type of situation. I hate all the buy the dip narrative. Yeah, I know. It's like, it's so silly that this is like this huge dip. Because anytime, guys, you get these meteoric runs where a stock is just like 4xing, 3xing in 1 year from, off of a dip, you're going to see pullback, and that's healthy. So the stock pulled back before to like 23, and then this time it pulled back to the, just below 27. Big deal. That's the best you got, and they're trying so hard to stop people out of like 27, like this big battle. How many people do you think have stop losses on? That did buy, like Carl's saying, at 9 and 6. Think they're going to get stopped out at 27 when we think the stock's going up to 100 for our retirement to build generational wealth? The most consistent growth with extremely rapid growth and profitability all at the same time. I mean, this company is built to perform in good weather, in bad weather, in sickness and in health. This is a stock you want to marry. This is a stock you take home to meet your parents. This isn't that, the side piece stock in it for a trade, in it for a bit of fun. You know what I mean? Or roll in the hay. No. This is you find a stock like this, you put a ring on it. Put a ring on this stock. Find a CEO like Anthony Noto, you marry that man. What's going on? Yeah, you gotta. Well, I don't blame anybody for trimming at 35, especially if you need to rebuild your emergency fund. I mean, I would honestly build an emergency fund before I was investing in stocks. That would be my honest advice. Like, at least something, get something there that you're not, that you can't lose. Get in a nice SoFi savings account at 4% or whatever it is right now. But anyway, just to talk about the price action volume, this has been, doing this little dipsy do. It's basically, they're trying to hold it under 27.20, I guess, where nobody's going to cash in any $27 calls. Basically not worth money. It's worth money, it's in the green, but nobody's going to be exercising, obviously, and retail is not smart enough to sell for a modest profit. Retail is going to hold till Friday until your calls are absolutely worthless, like dog shit, like you do every week, because you're a moron. You got a tiny wang, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, 10x. 10x has just been phenomenal, and I think that the trial data next year is going to, basically open up the world to the fact that that's going to get FDA clearance on levosamendan, and that company is going to be worth $1 billion sooner than later. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know, but you look at, mature sales has got to be, at least double what Orion was doing to be $400 or $500 million. You just get a, modest 4 or 5 times multiple. You tell me, guys, you do the math. You got more fingers than I do. Yeah. No, at least you have a plan. At least you have a plan, Emilio. Tiny Wayne Gang, yes, we're here. We got Billy Jack and the Butt Crack Boys on deck, so don't you worry about it. He be jugging. Boom, boom, boom. I always wanted to play jug in like a southern band. Just get me man boobing and some overalls and no shirt. You get a southern band, that's like the Hawaiian Islands. It's where a big man can just do some man boobing in peace. Very few places I don't feel big, I'm not that big. I'm only just like a butt hair over 6 feet, but I'm big, on the horizontal axis, if you know what I mean. If I was a graph, like I'd be all horizontal axis, not that much vertical. Kind of like I'm all taters. No meat. You know what I mean? What do you guys think of the double play combination of Stubby, Glenn Hubby to Mike Gallegos? What do you think of that middle infield? I know Glenn Hubbard was a long-time Atlanta Brave, and he was a really good player. But I believe he might have had a stint in the middle infield with my favorite player of all time, Mike Gallegos, the Gag Man. Anyway, if you guys have any thoughts on Glenn Hubbard or Mike Gallegos or 80s and 90s Oakland A's baseball, just let me know. Get back to me down in the comments. Let's talk about it. What's going on, Green Tree 911? I've been hearing you talk a lot about something. I forget what stock it is. What are you on? GMDA? What are you on? What are you on? Come on. Cough it up. What are you on? Loopers? You on goofballs? What are you doing? What are you kids on? You on the social media? You got your mind all cooked and baked on the socials? I hate you kids. I hate you guys. You got your heads so far up your asses, you can't even, get your phone out of there. Well, I'm looking at my phone. Yeah, but you're contorted to get your head right up your ass. I know, but at least I'm on my phone and I'm on my socials. It's got a like on my picture of this slice of pizza I had for lunch. I need to post a picture of the slice of fucking pizza or the veggie burger or the quinoa. I mean, if it's some beautiful dish and you prepared it or you're at some amazing restaurant or it's an event, I get it. I mean, it's still of no interest to me or anyone else, but be selective. Be your own editor. Don't be your own waitress. Be your own editor. Have a filter. Have a creative filter. You don't need to put everything out there. It's like my show. This material's terrible. I need a censor. Where's Jay Money when you need him, guys? Hello and welcome, guys. Soon Poco Moss show where we give you nothing. But basically, everybody's waiting. I guess the rate cut decision is around 11 a.m. my time, so it's in less than an hour. And I personally think SoFi is positioned to take more advantage of this rate cut for more reasons than people think. It's not just that it's going to stimulate, obviously a lot more student loan refis. We have news, on that with the Trump administration moved to end Biden's SAVE program for student loans. This is today so it's announced a proposed joint settlement agreement with Missouri and the student loan repayment program impacting 7 million borrowers. The Department of Education will not enroll any new borrowers, and it will also deny any pending applications, move SAVE borrowers to other repayment plans. Supreme Court blocked the Biden. So kind of know all this, but it's just more kind of working out the decisions from the courts and from all these laws and, Biden era forgiveness and all these different programs. So it's going to be bumpy. Head of the Student Loan Servicing Alliance told the NPR, remember, SAVE borrowers have not been in repayment for years. They're going to have a ton of questions and will need a ton of hand holding to get back into repayment. Who better is positioned to hold their hand than the good folks at SoFi Technologies Incorporated, of course. Ticker symbol is SOFI. Another piece of news, guys. I got some news for you. A little news flash. Got something in my pocket. Here it is. It's nice and warm. Nafa indeed, Eddie Martin. Let's see. Buy SoFi calls, buy SoFi shares. Yeah, Iovance. I think Iovance is going to absolutely go nuts, but there are some shorts just that really have a hard on for that stock. Really holding it down. Yeah, they can't let that baby go. MSFT, yeah, down. I forget what that was for. I read earlier. I'm gonna buy some as soon as I get a chance. Like first they were down because they said that there wasn't as fast paid adoption of Copilot, so they were lowering the sales quota or something. The bottom line, guys, is individuals and even small business people, they don't want to pay for AI right now. There's too much free AI. Like if somebody's giving it away for free, you're not going to want to pay for it. You know what I mean? So it's like they're kind of working this thing out. How does the monetization work? What, obviously businesses will pay for certain things that individuals don't. I seem to have made some kind of an error. Guys, I gotta send a quick text. Sorry about that. I know this is riveting, but just got a real life of stuff to do here, guys. Sorry, it's so bright in here. Anyway, I don't know. I have no idea what I was talking about. Introducing the SoFi Smart Card, the best all-in-one accounts, December 10 PR. So this is a card, I guess, maybe for people with, not perfect credit, but SoFi members earn 5% cash back rewards at grocery stores and up to 4.3% APR on savings balances. So what a swing, You can not only earn 5% back on groceries, and that's what's hitting people. One of the things like gas, California especially, but groceries everywhere, that's hitting people the hardest because there's been, so much food inflation. And, the cartons are getting smaller, the prices are getting bigger. So this is a real tangible benefit, And they estimate members could save over $600 annually based on typical monthly grocery spending. Inc. offering high rewards on critical products such as food aligns with the account holder's benefit, must have essentials to avoid incentivizing people to overspend on non-essential goods. So this is, again, SoFi helping people get their money right, opportunity to grow spending, spending control. You guys can read all the details, fraud liability, fee-free access of 55,000 ATMs, way to easily send and receive money through person-to-person payments. They now, of course, have Zelle, Bill Pay, the worldwide money transfers. They have their own blockchain thing coming out, mobile check deposit, complimentary unlimited financial planning, and additional benefits with the SoFi Plus membership. So it's just another product, guys. I mean, I would, just challenge people, if you're a SoFi investor, just add another product to your account. There's so many products that are so easy to add, whether it be a bank account, a credit card. It doesn't cost you anything, especially if you're not on the planning or whatever difference. Just all the free stuff they have on their app. Just throw on a few more products, use the app more, put more of your financial life on it. It helps the company. And personally, I use the app constantly, and I really like it. I'm not just saying that because I'm trying to pump the stock, which I am. But yeah, there's a lot going on. There's still a very significant short on the stock. I think it's a little bit higher than they're letting on, but I don't think retail investors are letting go. Institutional ownership is only increasing. Insider ownership has been, pretty steady, but I think that's, insiders have been dumping some shares, but they're giving themselves shares faster than they can dump. So, I'd really like to see the stock-based compensation slow down, but that's kind of true of every company. But let's face it, management's absolutely crushing it. This is not easy to do. This is not easy to do. If you look at, the quarter, I don't know if this is the quarter they went public, because the end of 2020, they were doing 565, million, and then they've gone up to 3.29 billion. This is a trailing. So, I mean, that's crazy. That's a 6x. And if you just look at, quarterly, they were down here at 78 million per quarter. Started 2021, 171, started 2022, 280. And now, this quarter, we're going to do over $1 billion, I would say. I would venture a guess. I would hazard a guess. Man, I'd have to put his soul at hazard. Yep. Fed talk it too. You're absolutely right, Emilio. It's coming right up. Yeah, I think SoFi is not only going to be at 30 plus, I think it's going to be at an all-time high end of this year. That's my honest opinion. What's up, Frank the Tank 85? You're right on time, brother. There's no tardy policy here. We don't send you to the principal's office. You can watch this turd as many times as you want on the returd. That's the beauty of U-turd. Turds are galvanized for posterity. Galvanized isn't the right word. What's that word? Immortalized. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea what the point of this show is. Just basically wanted to make a tiny wang headline, but it's not just the fact that this is going to, the rate cut is obviously going to accelerate demand for student loans, along with probably these new, Trump administration policies, which that was sort of already in the works. And they're looking, I think people are speculating they're looking at buying a huge portfolio of student loans, like from the federal government, doing some kind of privatization transfer, which again, wouldn't surprise me at all. It's definitely the direction, smaller government, less, government subsidies, less government spending, all that stuff. So I think it would fit right in. I think obviously SoFi, I think, has got a pretty good relationship with the administration. At least because they sued the last administration. So I think it's kind of like, the, enemy of my friend, friend of my enemy. I don't know how the phrase goes, but basically if you don't like, Biden, Trump likes. So that's like, I think Noto has that going for him. I think SoFi has kind of that in their back pocket. So the relationship is there. Plus they're just the natural fit because they're far and away the leader in student loan. Who even else is left in the space? I mean, I think Discover was left in the space, and then they got bought out by Capital One. I don't think they're in the ball game anymore. So I'm sure there are other lenders and services out there, but they're, a pimple on SoFi's butt. So anyway, guys, people are also saying, oh, volume's down. Volume's been, 50, 60 million. That's ideal. That's ideal. All they're just not churning. They're just not fixing the prices actively, because they're finding some organic sellers with the weak-handed institutions, your Wells Fargos, your Morgan Fudleys, these weak-kneed, tiny wing turds that just, you know, they're not looking to ride this thing up to 100. They're looking to ride it down from, 30 to 26. But no, I understand if you're buying, long-term shareholder and you see a stock make that kind of move and there's a lot of uncertainty, the multiples are rich. I can't blame insiders for selling some of their shares. I can't blame people for taking profits. Just, it's not where I'm at with this stock, but I can understand it. I'm not mad at it, but so SoFi trading along 20. This thing is still just, in my opinion, just being suppressed. Look at how many times, it's really trying to break through this this level here, and you see just making little higher highs today. It's very subtle, but you can see it. The stock is just making. I don't know why it's not drawing. I hate Yahoo. It's like the worst. I don't know, guys. There it goes. I mean, you can basically see it. It's somewhere in there. I mean, it's a little maybe wishful thinking. That's a little bit aggressive. It's a little less, something like that. But anyway, I see it. You just see it pushing up. You see more buyers, less sellers. You see them not being able to stop anybody out. Here they push the stock. Once it broke through, they pushed the stock down below 27. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is all one. So 6, 7, counting this one. I mean, wow, terrifying. And each time it pushes up a little bit higher. So I think the price action is very, very healthy. I think there are both buyers and sellers at this level. So that's good. The stock, consolidating. And the stock, in my eyes, is only consolidating to move higher. This type of stock, this type of run, these type of numbers, these type of fundamentals, and this type of macro setup, which is just like SoFi has never really had the opportunity to shine. SoFi has never had the opportunity to really work the wheel. And it's not just going to stimulate demand for home loans, personal loans, student loans, credit cards, all the lending products across the board, which were up 64%, year on year already last quarter. But it's also going to stimulate overall demand in the economy, more liquidity, more capex for SoFi tech customers, partners, loan platform. It's going to really stimulate the loan platform, that fee-based business, which is really what everybody's looking for to get more of a tech valuation. And if the company gets a full-throated tech valuation, is growing sales 30+%, GARP is just on fire. You can't even really put a price on GARP. It'll be like Garp. He's like, this is ridiculous. You can't even put a price on this company. I'm amazing. I walk on water. Okay, yeah, you're pretty good. You're pretty good. I'll give you that. Palantir's a great company, but I mean, also valuation, math, multiples, these things do matter at some point. But anyway, guys, I guess that's about all I had. But yeah, you'll see the entire economy will get a jolt, especially on SoFi side, the financials, demand. You have, it'll help basically stimulate consumer demand for the holidays. You have so much coming up with SoFi Stadium. You have the golf thing just absolutely on fire. They just added Ciroc. They just added a couple of other, big name sponsors. That golf league, it looks like that thing's here to stay, and it's going to be big. And golf people are the exact kind of members you want. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of time. They travel. They spend. They, drink good liquor, good wine. They have deep vein. They have varicose veins on their calves. Red noses from drinking way too much. I love golfers. My neighbor would be a great golfer. Fat ass. It count. I don't know. Happy Gilmore. Great movie. Bryson, cash true puts 27, 29. SoFi gets a lot of love from Danny, as it should. Me, I'm here for penny stocks that could explode up in your face. Yeah. GMDA is a great one. Prop is not going to explode, but GMDA could. Prop, I think, is going to give you nice, steady growth and return, and then will ultimately be worth a lot. But GMDA, I think, is really undervalued. Where at? SoFi could easily be at 50 next year. Yeah, lot of cuts inbound. I think the economy is way weaker than people think. Anyway, guys, I got to get out of here. I got work to do. Green Tree, Emilio, Carl, AJ01. Thanks, guys, for being here. Baltamont 79. What's up? Tortuga del Rio. What's up? Thanks for joining me. Carl, of course, the great Carl Seamark. Alex. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Un poco más. Green Tree, a volume shooter, like your commentary. Bryson, of course, great Bryson. Bryson 99.85. A deep-throated tech valuation, indeed. Yeah, so they're basically holding this thing right under this little line on the daily, which is fine, but you know, the algo is working hard, and you can see this goes back, you know, through yesterday. You can basically see that support becomes resistance. This happens all the time. There's the teeter-totter right there. There's the pivot. The pivot, notice, is exactly 27.15, right where they're holding it now. You guys see that? You guys see how this line comes back and pull out a little bit further? You guys see that? I just drew this, like, I didn't even pull back and see this, but you see how perfect this is? Support, 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 breakdown at this fake 45-degree angle, resistance, 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 resistance. These charts aren't rocket science, guys. They almost draw themselves. It did in this. And, you know, I just drew this line, and it goes perfectly through the data points. That's how you know this is all mechanics. There's no organic price action. Retail's not dumping. Retail's not getting stopped out. These clowns want your shares. You know, they want your shares at 20, but it ain't going to happen. So they had to settle for trying to get a few of you dumpskis to sell at 27.80. And it just, you guys are too stubborn and stupid and tiny wing to sell at those prices. Sell at 100. Why are you going to sell at 28 when Noto's going to lead us to the promised land? We can sell at 100. You tell me, guys. Show and tell. Your move, hot shot. Anyway, guys, what's up, Scott? You came in just in time to end the show because I got to run, guys. I got to get some work done. But yeah, I think SoFi looking very, very strong today. Anytime the volume is like normal, all you see is buyers. I mean, I was just here, but it looked a lot more dramatic on my phone. But if you look at it, a lot of the candles, a lot of the volume is green. I mean, there is a lot of price fixing you see on a daily basis. And you can see, you know, the algos are still very much locked onto the stock, but the sellers are going to get exhausted after that ER. So the next ER, it's going to be over $1 billion. You're going to have more margin expansion. You're going to have more, you know, fee-based revenue, loan platform growth. You're going to probably have, you know, some new announcements by then. You've got these IPOs. You got this Templum deal. You know, they got Stripe and they've got Epic Games right now. You're available for, you know, private investment opportunity, totally exclusive to SoFi. So SoFi is unique. SoFi is innovative. SoFi is better. SoFi is a one-stop shop. SoFi shows consistent, absolutely psychotically serial killer, consistent Dexter level, consistent revenue growth in up and down markets in good and bad times. It shows how good management is with their hedging, with their planning, with their execution, with their strategic thinking, all of it. All of it. Management has been an absolute, you know, epic home run. Anybody who second guesses this management should, you know, have your mouth washed out with soap. It's like, no, I'm not saying, hey, they can make mistakes like anybody. But don't assume just because they're raising money that it's some kind of big strategic mistake and they don't have anything, you know, planned for it. They are going to deploy that capital and they are going to bring you back more capital. Because that's what these guys do. They win. Anthony Noto is a winner. And I am a winner. I am chubby and he is not. He has great hair. I have great hair. He has hundreds of millions of dollars. I have great hair. And I'm chubby. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad, guys. We do what we can. Yeah, it can't even get to 30. Actually, it went over 30. It did get over 30. And they just walked it down after the ER. Travis Murphy, the perennial SoFi bear. No, it definitely can get over 30. It went way over 30, and there were tons of buyers. Kind of understand, what's going on, T Murph. Wake up and smell the smelling salt. See, this is 30. And this is like, look at all this volume over 30. Look at all this green. Look at all this buying that happened over 30. I mean, this is 103 million shares trading hands. Whoa, this looks organic. This looks organic. Look at these red candles. What? It's going to go right back over 30 after this rate cut. It's going to happen quickly. It's going to go to all-time highs this year. I know. Might sound crazy. It's a big move, right? It's a big move. Watch it happen. Watch it happen, because demand is going to be off the charts, and that's going to be the end of the quarter, end of the year, end of the quarter. It's going to be an absolute epic, game-changing quarter for SoFi. If the last one wasn't, don't forget, this was coming into that ER at 31. So we're down, 15% or something? I don't know. Yeah, I'm definitely a millionaire, but that's very, very poor. Like a millionaire. Yeah, I mean, in my house and property and stuff, yeah, on paper, yeah, for sure. It's not like I have $1 million sitting in the bank, believe me. No, guys, life out here is extremely expensive. Even if you make like really good money, you're fucking dead broke. So, no, I have some assets, but definitely, cash poor, but. Whatever, working the credit cards, but, trying to live. I was watching this thing I told Not a Lurker about. If you guys have a chance, it's a Charlie Munger video. It's like 40 minutes where he talks about, instead of wanting to make more, like learn to need less, learn to want less, learn to not envy, learn to not, be jealous. Just adjust your mindset. He gives 5 keys for adjusting the mindset. I'll link to that video. I never link to anything, but it's one of the best videos I've ever seen in my life. And Charlie Munger is one of the smartest guys. And Warren Buffett won't touch SoFi, so Travis Murphy might be onto something here. But no, I don't think so. I think it's incredible stock. Might be fairly valued right now, but watch them turn in another year of completely exemplary growth, EPS explosion, and then you'll be telling me it's undervalued, and you'll still have a tiny wang, and I'll still be a hapless, chunky U-turder. Never the twain shall meet. Yeah, you have to have a billionaire just to afford a nice apartment. So anyway, yeah, I got several people tied up in my safe room. Impending AI job apocalypse. Travis, are you a bot? Where do you come up with this stuff, man? No, that's very good. Yeah. And Marcus, the Goldman Sachs retail banking Marcus product in concert with Apple was going to kill SoFi too. And how did that work out for everybody? But no, seriously, Travis, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate Not a Lurker wherever you are. Appreciate the great Alberto Berti Aviles on his extended walkabout wherever he might be. We wish him well, guys. It's Un Poco Mas. Thanks for joining us. Peace.